Okay. Now I recorded. So again, um, Islamic greetings, and we got Noble Charlie with the Cordoba, Sombrero, and we're gonna get into chapter 47 from Prophet Noble Charlie, our ancestor. So what we see, I ain't gonna read it because you can go read it, but we're gonna touch on why a lot of this is ambiguous and really touch on the whole world and through a longer period of time, even up to 74. They lost their names, became Negroes, blacks, and coloreds. So let's begin. So what we got is the map of Virginia. See, even Virginia is not an English word, Latin, because it's this of Virginia. So you got the northern parts of Virginia, and it backwards like the old Moorish way. Virginiae partis australis et Floridae, which is of Florida, partis orientalis. Can't really say what I say. Inter Kentunque regionum nova descriptio. Well, the eastern parts of Florida and the new description. So let's pay attention to the caps and know how they dress, because you're gonna see it again later. Some people call it Romanesque, just like the Bowdens, but we know it's all Moorish. It's more Carthaginian. We're gonna check that out too. So we got what we call North and South Carolina, Virginia, and Florida at that time. And these names of kings and kingdoms. Some of them kingdoms, names of kingdoms, some of them names of kings. And yeah, I know Morocco, been on it somewhere right there. And Tiaka, Matiaka, and Ali, right there. Ali Kamani, Utina. You go look these names, they got quasi stories in English about some of these kings. Take it for a grain of salt. See, Edelano Rex, the king Edelano. Edelano. And see Macon, like Macon, Georgia, start there. And Salame. Sekotan. You know about the Powhatan. So dig into this part of chapter 47, the ancient Canaanites and stuff like that. We're gonna prove it. Right here they talk about the isotope change recorded in the shell-shaped samples at that time. Also concluded with the hypothesis timing of land collision that formed Earth's first supercontinent, Kenor land, right? And this before Pangaea. That's when the first water arrives about the sea and mountain ranges and plateaus. A sample of, like what they call it, Genesis, right? And they found it where? Canaan land, Canada. And they say the sample has been dated 4.03 billion years old. The site of the Earth's oldest dated rocks. So, going back as far as possible. And again, if you watched my last video, I forget to put this part in there, so we're gonna show again that New Latin America. To say this word in English would be Morocco, the Morocco. So when we say this word, we're saying a New Latin word, not an English word. And we got the trade ones that show how the trade route's been going, just like the trade winds. It's almost impossible for you to come out the strait and not come to America by wind. So as you come out the strait, they gonna push you like a hurricane, get pushed from over here to over here. So the ancient peoples wouldn't have no choice but to come to America when they come out their straits. And that's why the straits are so important. Once they get down here, they've been good to flip back around the side, but you would have to have powerful sails and stuff. And the earlier times, they probably ain't had it. Sails even powerful enough to fight that trade winds. So let's get into the so-called Romanesque, like a mansion, right? Let me show you who these Canaanites, these ancient Carthaginians who ruled the whole Mediterranean, Italy, all that places was so-called Rome, came later. So skilled Moorish Americans built nearly all the beautiful plantations and their buildings across the south. Nearly all these Romanesque buildings, just so we make sure that we know. In the cities, Moorish Americans learned a wider variety of skills. Most of the artisans in Charleston were Moorish Americans. For all intent and purposes, these people built the city and were responsible for the flow of commerce. So, basically, gonna keep going on and on about how and different businesses and nothing working without you moving. So we got these two chiefs, Sharife or Kakikwe, or Shakwe or Sharif. I got two of them, Hispaniola, early Hispaniola, and what I want to point out is their names with the L. They got L like the ancient Canaanites. So Kazi Uaku El, the father above said Garion El, and the other, so he more than two. And Gamana, two are one of his father. Gamana Ko El. Right. Showing again Canaanite, Hittite, Moabites, all that in America. We got the coin of the Carthaginians, so we can see Got the ancient spear, warrior spear, and he got the same cap, just like we see on that map. And so they like to call this Romanesque, but we're showing the Carthaginian coin right now, and we see the palm in his hand. Around where we at now, even today in Carolina, we we take palm tree leaves like this, and we make roses out of them in the shape of a rose, and we sell them. We used to do it. I guess when you a youngster, you do that, make some money, but we ain't get that from nobody. We just generally do that. So like he doing this with the palm. You see, with the elephant spear. So you see this sphere and the cap. And you got a Carthage, North Carolina too. The word Carolina and Carthage got the same origin too. Some coins from Carthage showing the palm tree, just like South Carolina flag, palmetto. And we got palmetto trees all over the South and Americas and Mexico and South America, California, land of palms. That's been a nickname for Carthage, land of palms. So out of the 10 Carthage we got over here, the empire of Carthage, we put over here, just like chapter 47 say. We're going through a whole lot of time, right? We start from the ancient King Knights, and we going all the way to 70-74 in chapter 47. So he going through a whole lot of time. We see the Moabitic type script, and these script right here we found all over Americas. By Barry Fail, Epigraphy, found a lot of that translated a lot. Other people found it, but he translated it. And this one, a little later language, but look just like us today, right? Alpha Beta. Carthage coin with Alpha Beta. Poka, Ica, and they got the ICA, the suffix like we still use today to denote country. Origin of the Indians to Edward Rutledge from Paris, July 18th, 1788. You promised in your letters of October 20 to 23rd, 1787 to give me your next and large conjectures of your philosopher on the descent of the Creek Indians from the Carthaginians, supposed to have been separated in 1788, right? So ain't a lot of stuff hidden as much as we get, a lot of stuff stored around for them to study. Supposed to have separated from Handel's fleet, so they know about the Bornstone and Handel coming over during his periplus. I shall be very glad to receive them and see nothing impossible in his conjecture. I am glad he means to appeal. Similarity of language, and that's one of the best ways. What you consider as the strongest kind of proof it is possible to deduce. It's not the strongest. Blood evidence is the strongest, but it's like second, third behind first-hand testimony. But you can get the first-hand testimony on historical events because ain't nobody living. So language become a powerful way to make claims and prove claims. Artifacts, a good way. Monuments and stuff like that. Inscriptions with monuments and Just videos, books. Give me a second. I have somewhere read that the language of the ancient Carthaginians is still spoken by their descendants. And basically, right, all over the world, this Punic language, we can see it, like in the term Americanos, a bunch of terms really over here. Alaska, most likely Algonquin. It's in Punic form. That's one thing we see in the Punic form of Latin. It's got a similar to Arabic, but similar to Latin too. Like a mixture of again, like the Maltese. So we see that mixed over here in America in the word Americanos, showing that these people been still running the country at that time, calling themselves what we call ourselves today, Americans, in that tongue. Or Moroccans in their tongue. So they say inhabiting the mountains, interior parts of Barbary. So he's talking about where they put Carthage and the Carthaginians at North Africa in history. But that's right out of my state. If you watch my channel, everything I debate can be looked into. We forget everything we thought we know and look into them ourselves. So any of those type of thinking like the old ways, we're gonna dismiss them and look into it. But he's still right. Those Moors over there still speaking it. Say to which they were obliged to retire by the conquering Arabs. So they're trying to say the Moors of Arabia conquered them, of Mauritania, which existed in North Africa before the so-called Arabia, Moors of Arabia came through. They always connected like this since ancient times. Comparison will decide. He said, if a vocabulary of their tongue can still be got, and if your friend will get one of the Greek languages, the comparison will decide. He probably have made progress in this business, but if he wishes any inquiries to be made on this side of the Atlantic, I have offered him my service cheerfully, my wish being like this to a certain history of the American Aborigines. So he writing from Paris to Eric Rutledge, South Carolina governor, the governor of South Carolina back then, 1700s. So let's go to where they put Canaan, Phoenicians. we see this a recent site that they dug up, and Tel Lakish, or Kish, Kush. And let's go. Now you see, just like over here, thousands of these mound structures. So let's see when they dig it up. So you see the similarity in the mound structures in America with the Canaanites. Well, they claim to be the Canaanites just because they put Canaan over here only, but we could use that for examples. And we're going to show how they stay away from stuff on purpose, according to my opinion. So anyway, we got these sarcophagus with the same. You find these all over the world like this too. And they got the blueprint after what they when they excavated. I mean, that's recent too. It's like the last 5 years or something like that. They excavated and they found that it been similar to Solomon's, what they think is Solomon's temple blueprint. And we got Tanit. They find that in there, what you find all over America. And the blueprint. The language, again, Moabite, ancient Canaanite. We find this all over America. You see Bet. All the languages still deal with this. Even our alphabet, see at the bottom, B, G. And you got Lamed, Mem, and Samic. Samic, Lamed, and Mem would be Islam, because ain't no vowels. Sin. Or sin. Yeah, sin. Lamed, Mem, sin. And we got Mama Killer, spelled just like we spell in the so-called Ebonics, right? But I just go back to show we just used our ancient tongue based off our bone structure. We'd rather say Mama Killer instead of Mother Killer, because our structure showing who we is in its most ancient languages, even Latin, spelled Mama like that. And different words with the A, like Rose. Rose would be Rosa. And that's all I want to show, really, the language. So we got the ancient Canaanite, Carthaginian, Moabite, who we call Moors. Mothers, fathers of civilization. And we reveal, we don't hide it. We get into Moors. Got the Moors restaurant, Moors Gourmet. You find Los Moros, the Moors, Moro Diaz, and Moro. Got a couple of these over here. Moro District, a couple of these too. And one in Cusco called Lima, one and two. I think the same place. Goddamn. We got Old Moros District, Historic District. You can see a bunch of Moro Rock Trail, Washington, and look like Ohio, like Tennessee. And you got even restaurants. Got so much of these over here than either Spain or Morocco. You got the La Fiesta de Moros y Cristianos in El Peru, the festival of the Moors and Christians in Peru. And we got the different festivals, but you see we say talk about Bazaar, Baile de los Negritos, the Lord or Bay, we will get into that, of the blacks, calling them blacks now because it's the Christian ritual of your overthrow from Moors. See, El Baile, different days you come and you still getting the same ritual. We'll get into that. El Elyon, different L's. You see, different languages, but the same people with the same understanding. You see, just about every country know about Bay. Got any language, and they would definitely call these things. Spanish been called Ray. I think we'll put that to show you. You see Portuguese one. One of these. I'd be looking at Chinese historical dramas, Korean historical dramas. They all use like Bailey, our version. Even on those dramas, they show that they use that as a lord. Arabic, every language. And L too, every language. You can see right here, ain't no vowels, but L, when you say the letter L, you gotta put the E phonetically, so vowels came to represent that. Even Phoenician, right? Lim, LM. You see the eel, like Illinois, Illa. Illinois. Every language, oldest languages you can find. So you see the theories, the different theories about further. We should be about to look at some how they play games with you. You'll be able to see them play games correct. A lot of stuff they know what they don't put. I can show how they know. There are three different theories about further etymology of the word Bay. According to one theory, the word may ultimately come from Middle Chinese. But as we can see, we see the origins coming right from the ancient empire of Egypt. Some of the oldest languages and writings. And they say ultimately come from Chinese, which is 100, like the bailiff of 100, right? Say the head of 100 men. That's a lord, a count. So you see, lord. So they know it means lord or master, right? They know that. So why are they playing games and not telling you the origin is from Baal? Not this. This became it over time, became different things that mean lord, master, count, duke, whatever. But ultimately come from Baal, which is B-N-L. See, lord or master, right? So why they acting stupid? They don't say nothing about Baal or Baal in this, but they gonna come on this page and say that it means the same thing as this page. Idiots. So we know Baal, Lord, and Lady, Belit. And they showed them on this page, but we know, just go back to all the different languages too. A lot of these different languages we start, just like chapter 47 say, we at the bottom says, start following the gods of Europe. So we can see right here, these orders. And they got 3 orders: Chiquero de Carmo order, de Sao Franciscan order, founded by white men, and the Nosa Senora de Rosario and Sao Benedictino brotherhoods composed of black men in the South America now, early South America. So we see, like we've been saying, I've been trying to get you to understand when you look at these holy walls, stop looking at them colorably. Look at the orders, look at the names, the dates and stuff. Brotherhoods, fraternities and stuff. That's how you make your claims, your reparation claims or whatever. But you can see, as you can see, following the gods of Europe. These brotherhoods and stuff, they became companies, and which became countries like we see today. These orders. So you'll see another example of treachery and proprieties. Let's see. So we got Marique, Maurice, as we say in English. They go into the term Marus, saying they derive. But what they don't see, I ain't got the whole thing, but they don't really get into what they say. So they say in Moorish. And they don't put down this page, so we're showing you more examples of the improprieties when it comes to your history. It's all over the place. They're telling you, but not telling you. God is searching. And you see, Anglique, they don't put all where Anglique come from. They give you exactly what it means, like they should have did on this page. And they say in English, this would be in Moorish. We know about ICE. That's how Latin work. And they say Latin, so they give you the origin. They say English as if this word is an English word. Play games. So we got children of the sun, right? And we got Peru Maca. So we talk about Peru. And Maco Capac, Cusco Valley, and children of the sun. Sun, like the star on our flag. circle seven, seven circles, which refer to the seven colors or the chakras or all the different things. Seven refer to seven rings of circle, which is the sun and the cross. So they say nearly all the Indian words, quote unquote, and Ramon Payne's accounts are Mandingo. Need say no need say more. A Maxim. And he say, of course, these words may have received by a Mandingo Negro. So, they gotta explain it away some kind of way. But what we find is this Mande language reached from down in Canada to Chile. They find examples. Kufik. So let's get into Los Negritos, the celebration that they do all over South America and Spain. The first Castilian expedition to the Canary Islands sailed from Seville in 1393. So the first time the Castilians finally decided to go across that water. And 100 years before the 1492 story too. So we know that's bullshit about that story, because they already with mixed crew of Basque and Andalusians, embarking horses to go in search of loot in the town of Lanzarote, which is on that old map we got, on the research map we got, is the Caribbean, basically beginning of those islands before you coming from across the Atlantic, which is the Antilles, Mayor. The Greater Antilles, so they say. So he captured 160 Moors, with king and queen at the head, completing the leather and the tallow charge. And the Castilians act one of the first group of Moors that come into Seville or Spain or whatever. Been like a couple years before this, and that been one of the first time anybody ever see Muslims captured like that. It's amazing to the Moors of the Muslim variety. But they gonna capture some from America. So upon returning and without disembarking, they recognized the island by naming them by their order. They called Tenerife Hell due to the colorful volcano. And that's what Hades means to hell. Hades. So probably the Peel Mountain of Martinique. So they're a little bit further down from Haiti, but of little danger but in constant boiling. According to tradition, the civilian brotherhood of Los Negritos, so called because it did not receive whites to a whole part before the 19th century. So they ain't let no whites in their group. Los Negritos brotherhood, which just means the blacks. It was founded in 1393. The chroniclers abstaining from relating it to the expedition to the Canary Islands. So that's what they're saying, that they history said that these first beginning of this way before the slavery story, and Wikipedia tell us, right? Because they taught us that the islands were inhabited by Gaunches, not blacks. So they gave us different names. Quarry, the islands of slaves, blacks, and pirates, especially Gomera, and the Catholic certified the presence of Muslims, decreeing successive conquests. So they're using the fact that they are war with Moors, using that as the conquests, but they hide in history that these conquests is the American conquest, not the one that history will make it look like Christian and Moors are fighting in Northwest Africa, as we know it today. But that's how they get us. They move that shit over there and act like the American conquest between some weak Indians. down where it take them 400 years from this date to even smell, to even get a kingdom at least working right. So keep getting attacked, burned down, all kind of shit. So he said decreeing successive conquests for being the islands in power of unfaithful canaries, which is Moors, and canaries meaning the Americas at this time. But history put it in the canaries that we know today, qualifying that they reserved for the Muslim. So basically qualifying that they've been mixing these stories up. The wars between Moors and Christians been basically the wars between Spain, the Christians, and the taking of the Americas. So we can see what they say. The black slaves taken from Africa. So they already off since the 14th century, right? They got the date 1393. Living at the suburban slums of Seville. They make a movie out of this too, Los Negritos, in South America. Many of them fighting for survival. Gonzalo de Mina not only creates a hospital, and Gonzalo de Mina, they've been a Moorish American too from here, who going to help them out. A hospital and a chapel for them, but also a brotherhood to integrate them into the religions and social life of Seville. So you see, they became blacks and Christians. Learn the languages, learn the religions, and it was on. But also they became the first religious congregation, the first, a title that have to defend before other white brotherhoods who came after. Also, they have to avoid being suspended and banned by religion authorities. As time goes by, the popularly called Brothers of the Negroes, Brotherhood of the Negroes, became the Negritos, Los Negritos, a paternalism that showed a fraternity of slaves and free men become a brotherhood of poor white civilians. So they tried to get in, and they eventually did because they still got the clan outfit, right? You see, the Brotherhood of Los Negritos still celebrated today. You can tell by some of the ancestors, some of the descendants of us, they get captured from here, take over, they start a brotherhood, and they still ritualizing it. You see, they join now, and we know where they get these from now. Corpore. You see, celebration of that. Just like Mardi Gras, same type of celebrations. Yeah, capirote. Holding a long wax candle, only lit by night, marching in silence. They are the Nazarenos, the Nazarenes. Colors, forms, and details of the habit are distinctive for each brotherhood. So different colors, purple, white, red. And usually the Nazarenos march in pairs and groups behind insignia. So let's continue. As we see right here, the connection, Shem, Heru, Shem, Egypt, and Canaanite. We got, I will make a point, you see, Mista, or Amset, and the conquerors of Egypt, Hubo, the great dynastic Egyptian civilization. There was an influx from the Far East, possibly southern India or Ceylon, and Sri Lanka, ancient remnants of the ancient Lanka of the Hindus of immigrants who mingled with the Dane natives of Egypt. But what they don't get is that the Egyptian Empire is just a ambiguous word for the whole world empire. That's just the word we use in chapter 47 for the whole world empire. So that's why they keep finding these connections. Atlanto-Arians, they call them, which is Marian or Bay, from Posidonis, which is another name that the Greeks had for so much places that don't exist on maps. So put two and two together, part of the world they hide from you. This forming what better become known as the later days of the Egyptian people or race. So showing you connections with the Holy Lands with so-called Africa. And these some of the stuff I find in these museums in South America. We see the Carthage symbol in this church, palmetto tree, showing that everything's showing connections, no matter what religion they claim they under. We don't care about that. We want to know what's going on. So the Minas, the mine, they know they come in and take these people gold. In South America, Minas is Brazil, Peru. Show you just how they dress and stuff. And it's like Rome, right, with the shield and the thing. Carthage. See the different words for deal with Carthage or Canaan. Carolina, California, it's all over. Thought I would see Bracamoros flying somewhere, but probably further down. We see Zama. We know Hannibal and Scipius Africanus fought in Zama. Like they ain't even write none of the Carthages down here neither. They slick. And this the president of Mexico right here. Main man right there. Go look him up. It shows some Mexico history right here. Inquisitions. And some more in Mexico. You can see this geometry. When you look at the Moorish paintings, it's supposed to be in Morocco. All of them supposed to be in Morocco, right? But we find this in Mexico. Let's stay away. Bunch of these, I just want to show some. Let me see. This look like one of those pictures with Moses standing in the hall. All this in South America. And we go down to Costa Rica area, I forget the name of the ancient sites, where they find these, pay attention to the dress and the headwear. So they got the government of Jaén de Bracamoros, Jaén. And I don't want to read the whole thing, but I want to point out, they say they named them Bracamoros, but look what they say they named them. Alright, Jaguars, or like Jaguar, Songo, and Pacamoros. So this means peaceful Moors. This means the Moors of the mountain. So he still ain't the original name, but Pacamoros. San Diego de las Montanas. Valedor did. That's a historical person you should look into. Took a read. And from the last, I think the 2 videos ago, I had this picture out there, but I won't show this. When they say a Peruvian at the top. Jin Peruvian, banan, Peru under. Anyway, this a Peruvian. And we're going to see this picture been listed inside a library as an African. But pay attention how ignorant it is. We see. Right? See, everything. Even that stance of nobility. So behind the same, the scene the same. Look like they take this picture and draw this one. But we see these different styles all over the different kings of South America and Mexico and stuff with that turban with the little side stuff hanging on the side. The feathers on this, especially on this right here. That's similar all over different kings and Peru. That silk. Straight silk. In those times, right? That's why you can't just looking at motherfucker with just got feathers and you got that out make him American. No, he can be like that in Germany, or he can be like this in America. You can't look at it like that. It's illusions. We got the village, the Spanish village in Florida. The Hispanic village in Florida. So let's get into, we almost finished. Let's get into Rome. Why we always say those stuff that people be calling Rome, we tell you it's Moorish, because a bunch of people just like to steal things. They don't go back far enough. But we'll go back. The Ottoman or Moorish Etruscan Empire, which is Italy. And parts of Greek. You know, we don't got those borders like we got today. So it's that area. The Etruskia been huge in parts of Greece. But again, those ain't not about the ancient Moors who've been all over the world. Just had similar languages before they forget each other's tongues. And a commercial language was always used to help with that. So we're going back to those times, which at its height reached from the Po to Campania, see, bigger than what we think, was ultimately mastered by the Latines, another tribe of central Italy, who were of Atmarini descent, Moorish. Well, when he said Atmarini, talking about like the Atlantic, the Western Empire that they hide. Rome gradually gained dominance over the Atmarine Indo-European speaking Latin towns. So they've been already speaking that Latin that they want to call Roman or Indo-European. These tribes. These accounts in Italy, of which I speak, is largely and is from Prince Uriel Bey, is largely the reason why the Asiatic peoples of Central and South America to this day, who we are known to be Atmari or Moorish American, are also called Latino slash Latina of Latin speaking nations. And though, yes, we all know that they are not speaking ancient or Renaissance Latin, and that's what America, that term would be like a more of a Renaissance Latin. No 15, 1600 type Latin. Because Roman cultures never really fall, it just changed forms. And but very distant dialects does not change the truth of the matter that the Etruscans, the Latin, and the Carthaginians were all related, and all of whom at different times had ruled most of Italy from the central Italy region until later version into what became the Great Carthaginian Empire, and also the Holy Roman Empire. No, that come later. That come later. After the Punic Wars, Rome and Carthagena fell. They just became different things. And you had both of these tribes, the descendants of both of these tribes on both sides of that war. So which at one time ruled all of Italy, surrounding and joining islands, Atmarium, the Balearics, and all of Spain, Northwest Africa, and small parts of Asia as far as the Black Sea. These Carthaginians. And right here we're looking at some more to where. We know this is a king. You see that turban right there? Big turban. Alarabe. Our noble. You see, captives. But no matter what time period you're in, 5,000 years ago or 5,000 years from now, you'll always have people in our own nation who ain't gonna do right, and you gotta have governing. You can't just I don't know what kind of civilizations y'all think y'all were living in without punishment, crime, and law and justice and stuff like that. So you see, Florida is its own country. And we know about the walls. And they call this the Canaries, right here. This the Canaries, and this the Indies, and this been the Morocco and Mauritania. And you got La Florida. You got the country of the Fueros or the Bays. You got Americanos, Estados, the American states. You got Canaan land. Got parts of Europa. You see how they spell them. So I don't even know English word. That's Latin too. Europae. See, Hispa. Europae, parts of Europe. So you see of Europe. Give it an E at the end. Europae. It'll be America. You're saying both Americas. Septentrionalis, the north. So as we see in the Federal Depository in New York City in the Handbook of North American Indians, page 290, it states that among the reputed ancestors of the Aboriginal American Indian populations, natives are Moors and Turks. So they're saying among them, they were Moors and they were Turks. They might have been other stuff too, but for the most part, All that might have been Moses for all we know. What's wrong with these people? Smithsonian. And some words from Uriel Bay at the bottom. Alut protegis ac ductoris. Allah protect and guide thee. So you see the 4 kings, and you see the Carthaginian architecture back there, right? Just like Tunis. The 4 Indian kings, they say, from this America, not the other Indian too. And you see the building, right? Americanos. That's what that is. Governing probably Philadelphia too. And I just want to show the geometry that we've been seeing all over South America. These pictures supposedly only be in Morocco, but we find these everywhere in America. Especially like even floors like that and stuff, in your house. Inside buildings we walk in, courthouses and stuff. So pay attention to the details. Look at a lot of these pictures, be looking at the background, see what you find. So I got another folder that continue dealing with this subject, so I might part 2 it. And yeah, I have to speak low so I don't wake nobody up. So sorry if it's too long, but I always do these late nights. So again, until next time, Islam.